It says, let's talk about animals. Animals have some type of body plan. Sponges have no particular shape, so they exhibit symmetry. Sea stars can be cut like a pie, with each wedge having the same shape. They exhibit radial symmetry. Most animals can be cut into two halves by an imaginary line. Each half is a mirror image of the other. They exhibit bilateral symmetry. Animals that have bilateral symmetry have back, usually have the dorsal side, a front called the ventral side, a top called the antral region, and a bottom called the posteral region. They concentrate their sensory organs into the head region. This is called cephalation. Animals have 2 or 3 embryonic layers. The exoderm forms the outer covering of the skin and the nervous system. The endoderm forms the internal organs such as the digestive system. Bilateral animals have a 3rd layer called the mesoderm. It forms the muscles and other organs between the endoderm and exoderm. Some animals have a fluid or air-filled cavity. This is called cloaca. If the cloaca arises from the mesoderm, we call these animals cloamates. We are cloamates. If the endoderm and the mesoderm form the cloaca, we call these animals, anybody know how to say that? I guess not. If an animal does not have an internal cavity, they are called aoclomates. Let's talk about animals. They fall into 2 basic categories, invertebrates and vertebrates. Let's cover the invertebrates. Phylum Phorea is the sponges. They are full of pores. They take in water through many small pores. Their pore cells sweep the food out of the water. The food is carried by the rest of the sponge by cells called amniocytes. Finally, the water is expelled through the large opening at the top of the sponge. Sponges are hermaphrodites. They can produce both sperm and eggs, but not at the same time. They release gametes into the water to find each other. Sponges can also reproduce asexually by fragmentation. Phylum Cinera consists of your jellyfish, sea anemones, and hydrocorals. They have what is known as a 2-way digestive system. This means they have no anus. Food comes into and goes out of the same opening. They have tentacles covered with stinging cells called nemocysts. They sting their food, stuff it in their gastrovascular cavity, and then expel the waste to the same opening when they finish digesting it. Forms are free-swimming jellyfish, like polyps, and are stationary. The polyp reproduces asexually and the nesca sexually. Phylum Phlogiumophysis. These are flatworms. Some, like the plarium, are free, but most like the flute are parasitic. The free-living flatworms have a 2-way digestive system. They exhibit cephalation and can detect light through eye spots. Some can produce asexually by fusion. They can regenerate missing halves. They are hermaphrodites, but they have to mate to cross-fertilize each other. Tapeworms are the most famous of the parasites. Phylum Nematodes. These are wild, unsegmented worms. Free-living nematodes are small and live in the soil. They are a plague for farmers. Parasitic nematodes such as ascaris and pinworms live inside host intestines. Nematodes that are free-living have a 1-day digestive tract with a mouth and an anus. All are separated by sexes. One nematode, C. egon, has been helpful in the field of genetics. Phylum Annelida contains segmented roundworms. These are friendly earthworms and not so friendly leeches. Earthworms are free-living, leeches are parasitic. They latch onto our skin and suck our blood. They have a 1-way digestive system. They have a coelom, and they are hermaphrodites that have to mate to cross-fertilize. They exhibit cephalation and have 2 fused nerve cords that run to the body. Phylum Mollusca. These are the soft-blooded organisms. They can be broken into 3 main categories: gastropods, These are your stomach-footed organisms like snails and slugs. Cephalopods, which inflate their head with water and squirt it out like a balloon losing air. There are squids and octopi, and the bivalves. Here are your clams and oysters. They have a tough, membranous covering called the mantle. The mantle is what produces claws in oysters. Bivalves are filter feeders and secrete two shells for protection. Gastropods are unusual because during development their body twist and place their anus above their head. I am glad I am not a gastropod. Most gastropods are vegetarians, but some are predators. The cone snail is one of the most deadly creatures on Earth. Most gastropods have a shell that they can retreat into when they are scared. The most advanced type of mollusk is the cephalopod. Squid and octopi are highly developed. They have good eyesight and use tentacles for catching prey. Phylum Endodromata. Spiny-celled animals like sea urchins and sea stars are in this category. They have radial symmetry. They move by hundreds of tiny tubes feet on the bottom of their arms. They can reproduce sexually and asexually. If you chop a sea star into a piece as long as the central disc is intact, it can regenerate missing parts. Sea stars feed by opening a clamshell with its 2 feet, throwing up its stomach into the shell its hand to digest it. Now that's weird. Phylum Anthropoda. These are your joint foot animals. They are the most varied group among the invertebrates. They make up most of the species of the planet. They can be broken down into several unique categories. Class Arachnida. They are your eight-legged arachnids. Sorry, I'm not reading it right. Are your eight-legged creatures like spiders and mites. Class Neuropoda are your millipedes and centipedes. Class Insecta are your six-legged creatures that can walk, jump, crawl, and fly. Class Crustacea are your sea creatures like lobster, crab, shrimp, and some plankton like krill. I will discuss vertebrates in my next slideshow. In the meantime, go home and watch SpongeBob. I got lots of valuable information from the show. Who said that it rots your brain?